Now, from WYDC TV, this is Big Fox News at 10.
Back by popular demand. Tonight and throughout the weekend, pedestrians rule once again in Corning's Gaffer District. Big Fox's Matt Kleindens tells us how you can enjoy a change of pace on Market Street.
Good evening, and residents can explore downtown Corning while supporting their favorite local businesses up and down Market Street.
The crowds have just continued to grow as the day goes on.
Despite scattered showers throughout the day, residents took to Market Street for the first day of Rediscover Corning. For the first time since last summer, local businesses and restaurants can expand into the street, allowing residents to more easily support them while exploring downtown Corning.
It's a call to action for our locals, particularly to come down and support our businesses. Dine in our restaurants, take advantage of some of the service industry that we have down here.
Since the start of the spring, Corning residents have been clamoring for the city to close Market Street. At one point, an online petition was started to get the street shut down. Businesses have also been clamoring for the closing of Market Street to help attract more customers.
Show their new items for the season, promote some of the maybe independent artisans they have in their stores, or just engage with their customers on a different level.
Kristen Brewer says the event will help kick off the summer for many in the area.
As it continues to be, gets closer to the weekend, gets to be after 5 o'clock, we'll have even larger crowds.
Rediscover Corning will stretch all the way through July 6th. Matt Kleindens, Big Fox, WYDC in Corning.
Search operations for potential survivors of the Surfside condo collapse now in their 8th day. Officials temporarily halted efforts due to the unstable structure. Madeline Rivera has more.
President Biden and the First Lady are meeting with victims' families and first responders today. The search for survivors here in Florida now entering its second week.
Say thanks and listen and find out what I can do as president, what I can unleash in terms of help.
President Biden and the First Lady thanking the heroic first responders and search teams in South Florida today, as well as offering their full support to state and local officials.
There's going to be a lot of pain and anxiety and suffering and even need for psychological help in the days and months that follow. And so we're not going anywhere.
Officials say early this morning the building shifted, forcing rescue crews to leave the site.
Our engineers are continuing to monitor the structure as we've paused operations to evaluate the situation.
Teams have been working to remove layers of steel and concrete without disturbing an unstable pile of rubble. Multiple class action lawsuits have been filed in this collapse, accusing the condo association of failing to address structural problems. Riza Rodriguez, a tenant of the building, claims she tried to raise the alarm back in 2018 by recording video of leaking pipes in the garage. Her attorney says in part, quote, it was her effort to truly get somebody to listen to her and other residents as they found clear examples that the garage was falling apart. A federal agency has launched a probe into this building's collapse, just like it did after 9/11. In Surfside, Florida, Madeline Rivera, Fox News.
The New York Army National Guard is blaming a deadly helicopter crash on procedural error. A medical evacuation helicopter went down in Mendon in January. 3 officers died. The soldiers were performing night vision proficiency training at the time.
For folks who understand aviation, it is very important to practice, prepare, and rehearse procedures during an emergency, in-flight emergencies in particular. Army aviation standards require crew members to practice and undergo emergency procedure training throughout the course of their careers. The procedures and actions taken by the crew during the course of rehearsing an emergency procedure are what led to the cause of the aircraft's crash.
The National Guard says voice recordings were retrieved after the crash, but they will not release those recordings to the public. 2 weeks after this crash, another aircraft went down in Idaho. Officials say an investigation found no correlation between the 2 crashes. New York Homeland Security and Emergency Services reminding people about which fireworks are legal to use. According to the department, ground-based or handheld sparkling devices are legal to use. However, these devices are limited to 500 grams of pyrotechnic composition. Other consumer fireworks like firecrackers, bottle rockets, and Roman candles are illegal in New York. Residents are advised to set up their fireworks in their driveway or sidewalk and have extra water on hand. New York State Police launching a campaign to crack down on drunk and reckless driving this 4th of July weekend. Drivers can expect a number of DUI patrols and sobriety checkpoints across the state. Troopers will also look for drivers texting behind the wheel. Last year, state police issued more than 9,000 tickets and arrested 180 people for DUI over the 4th of July weekend. Hot weather is normal in summer, but insane heat plaguing the Pacific Northwest is causing health officials to go on high alert. Ashley Stromier has more on how record high temperatures are leading to reports of hundreds of deaths while putting thousands of lives at risk from wildfires.
Record high temperatures in the Northwest could be proving deadly as health officials across Oregon, Washington, and even north of the border in Canada are now reporting hundreds of deaths throughout the week, citing the intense heat as the probable cause.
The entire west coast of North America, from Baja to Alaska, is red hot.
And it's a problem that could only be getting worse as thermometers in several cities continue climbing into the triple digits. Portland, Oregon, breaking a record earlier this week, reaching a temperature of 116 degrees Monday. But medical experts say many times heat-related fatalities can be avoided.
Deaths from heat and hospitalizations from heat, all preventable by just helping people get to a cool space.
But it's not just people who need a shelter from the sweltering summer weather. Josephine Maurer of Olympia, Washington, lost her beloved dog to the elements.
He was a senior dog and he couldn't breathe really great, and so when the heat hit, he was really struggling to breathe.
Meanwhile, the heat is causing drought conditions in the Golden State to worsen, leading to more dangerous infernos like the lava fire in Northern California, which has so far burned more than 13,000 acres, forcing thousands of evacuations. And as for the heat, so far officials in Oregon and Washington state say at least 80 combined deaths are linked to the hot weather. But medical crews in the Canadian province of British Columbia are investigating close to 500 potential deaths. Ashley Stromier, Fox News.
Bill Cosby, the first high-profile person convicted during the #MeToo movement, is now out of jail. The actor returning to his home outside of Philadelphia after nearly 3 years behind bars on a sexual assault conviction. Alex Hogan has more on the court's decision to overturn his conviction.
Bill Cosby is now a free man.
How does it feel to be home?
In a surprising move, Pennsylvania's Supreme Court on Wednesday overturned Cosby's 2018 sexual assault conviction and released him from prison, saying he shouldn't have been prosecuted in the first place. After returning home, Mr. Cosby made an appearance with his lawyers. He made no remarks but smiled and flashed a V for victory. The High Court ruled an agreement with a previous prosecutor prevented District Attorney Kevin Steele from charging Cosby with any crime. In a 79-page opinion, the justices called his arrest, quote, an affront to fundamental fairness, particularly when it results in a criminal prosecution that was foregone for more than a decade.
We knew all along he never should have been prosecuted for this. He had every right to rely on the prosecutor's word. And they pulled the rug out from underneath him.
Steele reacted in a statement that read in part, he was found guilty by a jury and now goes free on a procedural issue that is irrelevant to the facts of the crime. My hope is that this decision will not dampen the reporting of sexual assaults by victims. Now 83, Cosby served nearly 3 years of his 3 to 10-year sentence following his conviction of drugging and molesting Andrea Constand at his home in 2004. But it's a devastating blow for the roughly 60 women who came forward and accused the former Cosby Show actor of sexual assault.
It did not vindicate Bill Cosby's conduct.
Andrea Constand and her lawyers released a statement calling the decision disappointing, adding that they're concerned it could discourage victims from reporting or filing legal action for sexual assault. In New York, Alex Hogan, Fox News.
In one Chicago suburb, people who wore clothing associated with the opposite gender were breaking the law until Wednesday. It was an old, forgotten law, but activists say it was still important to have it stricken from the books. Dana Kozlov has that story.
But we did it right away because it's not a reflection of this village.
Elk Grove Mayor Craig Johnson called it a no-brainer, but to some like these young LGBTQ activists, Elk Grove's repeal of a 1961 ordinance banning any person from publicly wearing, quote, clothes belonging to the opposite sex is 60 years overdue.
Change is very delayed, but I'm glad that it's coming.
Lynn Ahn and others held a demonstration outside Elk Grove's Village Hall hours after the law was repealed. It'd been in the works for a year after local attorney Jim Naughton discovered it on the books.
This is a relatively small thing in a much larger fight, but I'm happy today about this.
That's when Ahn began pushing Mayor Johnson to get rid of it. He says COVID delayed that, adding he was surprised to learn the law even existed.
A lot of municipalities around here were taking laws from the city of Chicago and roll onto the books, so they had some ordinances on the books. And once we made aware of it, we know it's not right. That's why we took care of it.
Naughton's take, one so-called cross-dressing ban down, a few more to go.
I know Des Plaines and Schaumburg have something very similar.
But he believes those in other municipalities are now moving to repeal them. Mayor Johnson says Elk Grove's next step is getting rid of all laws that no longer make sense.
For example, in Elk Grove Village, you cannot curse on public streets or alleys. I can't curse. I'm in trouble.
Still ahead tonight, top health officials warning Americans that the pandemic is not over. Hear more from the U.S. Surgeon General now after new numbers show the concerning Delta variant is continuing to spread across the country, now detected in almost every U.S. state.
Here's your local stock market update from Big Fox. Now, your Twin Tiers forecast from Big Fox.
Tonight's Big Fox forecast is brought to you by William Attar. Today, a lot cooler than yesterday as a result of a lot of cloud and a little bit of rain that moved through our area, a few thunderstorms as well. So this afternoon, it was about 17 degrees cooler in Elmira, 13 degrees cooler in Corning, and around 12 degrees cooler in Watkins Glen. And we're going to continue with this cool air at least for one more day, and then those temperatures quickly rebound by the weekend. But let's take a look at our future radar for tonight. We are expecting a few more showers, possibly even an isolated thunderstorm or two, and that will be popping up in the overnight, and this will continue through about 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. And so we are expecting to wake up with a little bit of rain, and then by the afternoon, showers will remain as just that cold front that moved through our area will be sliding to the south. Cooler and drier air will start to reside over our area on Friday and Saturday. So notice these dew points today. They were in the 60s yesterday, and they were in the 70s. So it was a little bit uncomfortable earlier this week, but now and through the weekend, we are expecting those dew points to mainly stay in the 50s. So it's going to be a little bit more comfortable. We don't have to deal with that sticky air anymore. But for tomorrow, there will be a few spotty showers and thunderstorms. Our average high is around 82 degrees, and I don't think we're going to reach that tomorrow. So temperatures start off in the lower 60s, 68 degrees by noon, 70 degrees at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and then we quickly drop back down into the mid 60s with a few showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon. So for the rest of your Friday, we are expecting a few showers that will really increase in coverage in the afternoon, and so it's going to be a little bit more widespread from noon through the early evening hours, and then the rain chances will start to diminish in the overnight. Still a few lingering showers for early on Saturday, and then once that cold front really sweeps through our area, I think drier air will start to move in by Sunday. So how much rain are we expecting from now through about Sunday evening? We are expecting anywhere between about 1/8 of an inch in Bath, about 9/10 of an inch in Elmira and Sayre. Around 1 inch could be possible, so there will be a little bit of rain to go around. For your Saturday, those showers again will remain and the cool air will linger, but then warm air will start to come back by early next week. Here's a look at your forecast for tonight. We are expecting a few scattered showers, temperatures in the upper 50s, and then highs tomorrow tomorrow, only around 70 degrees in Corning as well as in Elmira. Your extended forecast calls for a warming trend for the 4th of July. Look for highs around 79 degrees. Still not bad though. And then we warm up close to around 90 degrees on Monday and Tuesday. So it's going to be warm air coming in right out ahead of another storm system that will arrive on Wednesday.
The U.S. Surgeon General says the pandemic is absolutely not over. That's after new numbers show the concerning Delta variant continues to spread across the U.S. Mandy Gaither has more in today's Health Minute.
It now accounts for 1 in 4 coronavirus cases in the U.S., and the Delta variant shows no sign of slowing down.
This variant of COVID is highly transmissible, the most transmissible that we've seen to date.
Top U.S. health officials say those who are fully vaccinated have a high degree of protection from the Delta variant, but
if you are not vaccinated, then you are in trouble.
Some of those unvaccinated are the youngest Americans. Right now, the FDA has only authorized the Pfizer vaccine for those as young as 12.
I would say right now, if your kids are old enough to wear masks, then they should when they're indoors, at least until we can get our arms around this Delta variant.
That variant is spreading in some areas more than others. Health experts say that means Americans need to fully understand the risk in their area.
If you're in the Northeast where transmission is really low, then your kids are a lot safer than in parts of the South Central U.S. right now, where the epidemic is really taking off. That 1-2 punch of the Delta variant and low vaccination rates.
A new Kaiser Family Foundation poll suggests most U.S. adults who plan to get vaccinated against COVID-19 have already done so. 65% of adults surveyed said they've gotten at least 1 dose. That figure hasn't gone up much from 62% in May. About 14% said they will definitely not get vaccinated.
The more people we get vaccinated in our country, the fewer people will get infected.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
After more than a year of COVID-19 restrictions, Americans are going places this holiday weekend. And with wide open outdoor spaces looking like a safe bet, the national parks are seeing a big summer bounce back. Karen Kafer reports from Great Falls, Virginia.
At Great Falls Park in Virginia, embracing sunshine and sounds.
The wildlife and being outside.
I like the noise of the water, just running down.
Just 15 miles outside Washington, D.C., the 800-acre National Park Service site offers views of the Potomac River cascading over jagged rocks.
I love just walking, strolling.
And after months at home, more people are seeking the outdoors.
As people are getting more fully vaccinated, we're seeing more and more people, and this park is bustling.
In 2020, 66 of the National Park Service's 423 sites saw COVID-19 closures of 2 months or more, resulting in 90 million fewer visitors to the system than 2019. In May 2021, some parks saw record attendance at Yellowstone. Across Wyoming, Montana, and Idaho, more than 483,000 visitors. And Joshua Tree in Southern California.
Have you guys gotten your junior ranger books yet?
More than 286,000.
I had a little extra time and we went through Joshua Tree, and I did not realize it was like this pretty.
As Americans look for places to go and things to do.
With masks and following protocol, I think we're safe to come out and enjoy this wonderful weather and what nature has and what God has given us.
Joshua Tree National Park Ranger Hannah Schwalbe says their traffic should slow with the summer's desert heat.
We have the Sonoran Desert in the south part of the park, and here in the north part we're in the Mojave Desert, where all the Joshua trees grow.
But like other western parks, heat and drought conditions among hundreds of thousands of acres require caution.
Wildfires are definitely a concern here, and even though it's quieter in our summers, we do still get a lot of visitation.
And specific fire mitigation rules.
As of June 21st, we have a fire restriction in place, so there's no fires allowed anywhere in the park, and that includes campfires.
That's why Schwalbe and other rangers encourage visitors to research a park's rules before arrival. Some parks now even requiring reservations to stem overcrowding. Rangers also asking this summer for patience.
Be kind. Be kind to us, be kind to each other, and understand that we're in this together.
In Great Falls, Virginia, I'm Karen Kafer.
A watchdog report says the IRS still had more than 35 million tax returns to process at the end of the filing season. That's a backlog 4 times bigger than at the end of the 2019 filing season. The challenges of working during the pandemic and some last-minute tax changes made by Congress to help struggling Americans created a difficult task for the IRS. The report is from the Taxpayer Advocate Service, an independent organization within the IRS. The report found a lack of working printers is also to blame for the backlog. As of March, they say about 42% of the printers and copiers used for IRS processing didn't work. Nearly 48 million Americans are expected to travel over the holiday weekend. That's up nearly 40% from last July 4th, reaching near record levels. But high gas prices, fuel distribution issues, and rental car woes could put a damper on your holiday spirit. Mandy Gaither has the outlook for travel this weekend.
Congested roads, crowded airports.
Americans have had pent-up demand. They are ready to get out, and they are traveling in high numbers.
AAA expects nearly 48 million Americans to travel this holiday, most trips by car, and those prices at the pump keep going up. A gallon of regular, the highest we've seen in nearly 7 years, with no relief in sight.
Crude oil continues to increase, and with that accounting for more than 50% of the price at the pump, as it goes up, so does the price you pay.
And AAA says there could be some gas outages across the country. It's not a supply issue, rather a delay in gas deliveries, thanks to a shortage of fuel truck drivers. But AAA isn't seeing or expecting market-wide gas outages.
But the good news is it's being refueled within 12 to 48 hours. And it's happening sporadically across the country.
If you're having trouble getting a rental car or finding they're more expensive, there's a reason for that. A chip shortage that affected the automotive industry caused a lack of production and tighter inventory, which trickled over to the rental car industry as well.
It is really in your best interest to plan and make reservations for everything at once. So flights, hotels, car rentals, tickets to any major events and attractions you want to go to.
For Consumer Watch, I'm Mandy Gaither.
The Boston Dynamics robot dog has not only met with the world's most popular boy band, Spot is dancing to their music in his latest video. Jeannie Mose reports.
See Spot dance. Again? And not just one spot, 7 spots dancing before your eyes. The Boston Dynamics Robo-Dogs matching the 7 members of the Korean pop group BTS. The boy band helps Hyundai sell the company's brand of electric vehicles, Ioniq. So that's the song the Spot Robo-Dogs are dancing to. As Hyundai promotes its recent acquisition of Boston Dynamics. Spot has been dancing for years now. In 2018, he danced to Uptown Funk, even shaking his booty. Followed last year by this. And now the even more complex dance moves in a video called Spots on It. In a blog describing the making of the video, it's revealed the same human choreographer, Monica Thomas, worked on all 3 videos, noting Spot has twice as many legs as a human dancer. Who's imitating whom? Boston Dynamics wants their $74,500 Robo-Dog to seem lovable, rather than have it associated with scarier uses. It's been tested by police bomb squads and even the French military. As for the video, many viewers found the dancing spots creepily awesome. I'm just waiting for them to go on tour. The 7 spots looked a little like the Rockettes, but instead of kicking up their legs, they were sticking out their necks. Jeannie Mose, CNN, New York.
We want to leave you with a smile tonight. Nothing can stop true love, not even memory. 56-year-old Peter Marshall proposed to Lisa on a December day while cuddling on the couch. What he didn't realize is they already got married 12 years ago. You see, Peter has Alzheimer's. Since his diagnosis 3 years ago, his memory has been fading, and he often forgets Lisa is his wife. But one thing remains consistent, that he loves her. So when he proposed, Lisa agreed, not wanting to miss an opportunity to create another beautiful memory with her husband. Lisa says she's the luckiest girl in the world to have Peter fall in love with her twice. Thanks so much for joining us. Have a great night.